Hi everybody, this is Paul at Express POD, and this is a video tutorial on how to manage your font groups within the app. So one of the things we need to talk about is the actual designs themselves. And if we take a look at a sample design on the website with the personalisation, when people create designs, they either create the design in Canva, they create it in Photoshop, or they create it with AI. And most of the time when those designs are created, these parts of the design, the header and the body text, are all fixed. It's not very often that people allow customers to change the header. Generally, it's the sign off on jewellery. We call it the sign off, the signature, where, lots of love from Dave, love from your husband. This is where the personalisation takes place. So it's important that you get the right font to balance with your header and your text to make it look nice. So this is basically how the software works on the website. You just put love from your husband, and that's what it gives you. It gives you the right colour and everything else, and that happens because you've set those choices up in the app. So what I'm going to do is show you how to set those choices up and where you've got access to the font groups. So if we go across into the app, this is a couple of demo products I've created. Now if we click on this one, and I'm going to add a text layer to that. It hasn't got a text layer on it at the moment. So I'm going to click into Edit Design. And as you can see, we've got the background here, which I always keep locked, because then when you're adding text and things, you're not going to catch it and move the layer. And we're going to click on Add Text. I'll take you through a couple of other things that you have to decide when doing text, although I'll cover that in other videos when we're adding designs as well. But if you click on Add Text Layer, what you get here is maximum characters. And what I'm going to put in there, I always start off with 30. And then what you get here is your placeholder text. And your placeholder text is actually what appears down here at the bottom. And I always use enter your text here, but you're quite welcome to put whatever you're needing. Once I've got that in, as you can see here, that centralize it, and we've got a very big text box there. So what we want to do is roughly pull that down into where we want it, and then sort of make it a rough size of where we need it to be. I'm going to want that to be in the center. That's where I'm going to want it, and I'm not going to want the text to come across and come into the roses that are here. So for now, that's roughly positioned where I want it. Looking at the size of the text, to me that's a little bit too big. It's bigger than the body text here. So if you come down here, I'm going to reduce that down to about 18. So if I click in 18 on the default size, you can see that's reduced it. I'm probably going to go another one down to 17. So I think that's a nice balance there that we've got. What I'm also going to do before we talk about the type of font we're going to use, I'm going to set the font color as well. I know what the font color is that I'm going to use. It's going to match this here. So what you do is you come down to color picker here, put the hash key in, and this font color is 7B7D6. 5. Now if I just hit enter there, you can see that's changed the font color to match this up here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to fix that color, which means that the consumer, your customer on your website, won't get the option to change that color. If you leave that unfixed, they'll get the option for the color picker, and they can change it to red, blue, or whatever they want to do. So that's basically what I do roughly when I'm setting a text field up. Now we want to say, okay, what are we going to do with this text? How are we going to decide what font we're going to use for it? So there's two ways of managing fonts. You can manage them here when you're at products by clicking this cog on the top, click manage fonts, and you can set all your fonts up from here. And I'll just run through this here firstly. The available font groups that you've got are all, I've separated them all into different groups for you. Sign-off fonts, heading fonts. I mean, you can use them for whatever you like, wherever you like. That's a design choice. But just for efficiency, I've dropped them into body fonts and everything else so you can see them. So if I click on there, you can see all the heading fonts. So if you want to add heading fonts into your font groups, which are here at the moment on your font groups, you've got the sign-off fonts, which I've already added, but let's say we want to make the heading fonts available. You can come across here and you can go to available font groups, and if we click on headings and click the copy, that will move that entire font group across into here, and you can see now you've got headings and you've got sign-off fonts that are available to you. If you want to upload your own fonts, as long as they're TrueType fonts, click on My Fonts, click Browse, click Upload, and you can add your own fonts and add them and create your own font groups here. So you don't have to use our font groups. If you just want a couple of fonts that you're going to work with, just click Create a New Font Group, give it a name, and then find your font and click it, add it to the font group. So that is really how we use the font groups. That's how you manage them. It is relatively simple. But when we're in the design itself, so now I've already added the signature fonts, which I want to put here. So if I now click on Manage here, I'm looking at the sign-off fonts. Now, if I want to, I could make all those fonts available, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, I'm going to have the choice here of sign-off fonts. So if I click Save and Select for that group, when you look here, this will now display all the fonts that are available in the sign-off font group. So if I click on Bad Script, you can see it changes it here. Cormorant, it changes it, etc. I'm going to use Sinsel for this one because I like Sinsel, and you know what? Yeah, I think that size is about right. So when I look at that size now, I know that there are 20 characters in that text because I've typed it that many times in my life. I know how many's in there. So if I then roughly count, I think you can probably get safely, I'm going to go for 28 characters in there before they start edging into the thing here. So you've got that. Now what, again, I would suggest you make the font fixed. If you don't make that fixed, when you push this product to Shopify and the customer's buying it, they will get the option to select any of those fonts they want down there. And again, it's a design choice, but for me, too many causes confusion for the customer. So that's what I would do. I'd set that as fixed. Now what you can do is you can fine tune this. If you go to positioning here, you can say, well, that box looks a bit wide there. So if you come to this one and just basically click the box till it's more of a reasonable size, you can make it, move it up and down. You can make it wider. You can move it where you want it. But what you want to do is use this one and click center. That puts it right in the center for you, so you know that's centered. Then the only other tab I'm going to show you that's related to fonts is the configurator. And the configurator is what appears to the customer here. At the moment, the choices are very limited. Basically, enter your text. There's no image to upload here because I changed the design for this example. So all they've got to do is enter the text, and I keep it nice and simple for them. But when you're in here, as you can see here, where it says layer name, what I put is I put enter your text, and this is the text that appears here on your page. So whatever you type in here is what the customer will see when they're basically personalizing the design on the site. So the other things you've got here, and again, I tend to turn these off, but everything's a choice. If you've got styling, alignment and transformation on, again, that here will appear underneath, and they'll be able to make this italicized, or they'll be able to make it capital or lowercase, so they can do all those things from there. And again, turn duplicatable off. You don't want them to duplicate the text layer. You want to always turn mandatory on, because that means they can't order the product without actually entering some text. And then movable, resizable and rotatable, I also turn those off, because if you don't, if it's movable, the customer will be able to move it all over the place, and if they get it wrong, it'll be awkward, and they'll be able to resize it, etc. So I turn all of those off, basically centralize, and then that's it. Once you finish that, you've done, and you can just basically work your way through, create your mock-ups, and then when you push your product to Shopify, that's what you'll get when the customer comes to order from you. Hope that's helpful. Any questions, fire them into us, and I'll answer them for you. Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye-bye.